Yeah, accepting or rejecting orders. Anyone, please? Can you tell us your understanding of this? Accepting or rejecting orders. What does it entail? You want me to choose? Okay, I'll start choosing.
Maybe.
Like for example, accepting or rejecting requests from customers.
From
Request to
my
do what?
from my understanding,
You know,
Like
customers can make a lot of requests, you know. Customers can
yes,
request that you give them some products free of charge. Can they do that? Customers can claim you give them big discounts. Okay, drama, more drama, you want to
yes,
try? Yes, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying that.
Yeah, go ahead. We're hearing you, drama. Oh, okay. It looks like you have some network problem.
yes,
Yes,
Mr.
Yusuf.
Fofana. From my understanding, is a decision whether or not to accept an order.
Whether or not to accept an order. And what is an order? If you are defining accepting or rejecting order, you should not use order now. Or maybe when you are using it, you should expand on it. Of course, it's plain
Mr.
accepting or rejecting order. But what is order?
Mr. Vona, can I give an example?
Who give example? Me? Basim?
Can I give an
So,
Yes,
example?
yes, yes, yes. Give an example. Yeah. So, sure.
Okay. Okay, so I work at GNPC and
Okay.
we do print coupons. The
Okay.
commerce department rather.
Okay.
So
Good.
before the coupons can be printed, an order has to be made by
Okay.
the or from the customer.
Good. Good.
So they made an order um, telling us how many coupons they want and in what denomination,
Okay. Good.
and the invoices will be printed
Okay.
before we can supply them. Yes, with the
Okay.
coupons.
Excellent. Yes. So that's a very very good example of accepting or rejecting order. Okay, Basin, I think that's a good example. Yeah, that's a good example. But in that case, are you going to reject the orders? If we place an order to how to call it to print coupons, you know, do you have a choice to reject it? Maybe the only time you will.
No, it depends. Like if it's a credit customer, it depends on the credit worthiness of the company. But
Okay.
if it is cash, you first go to accounts, then you make your payment first, then before we can print the coupons.
Okay. Excellent. For us, we just pay directly. No, GNPC, no, we don't deal with it. GNPC, no, we don't deal with it. We deal with Galp. Yeah, we buy our coupons from Galp. Yeah. Okay, but I think that's a good example. Okay, so can someone expand on it? That one is a service industry. Can someone give a good example from a production industry? But it's still relevant. Basin's example is still relevant. Okay, so right.
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Yusufa.
Maybe you can compare the percentage price and
You can
associated with the order for the cost of the production of the item.
you can compare what price?
The percentage price,
The purchase price.
yes, which is associated with the order of the production of the item.
Okay, yes, naturally you're going to consider that. You're going to consider that. But for now, we want to give a good understanding of what we mean by accepting and rejecting orders. Okay, so just like Bassett rightly said, in a service industry, for example, in a petroleum company.
Mr. Fufana.
Yes, Mr. Coker.
Yes. Just a quick question. What if, for example, in a production company, an entrepreneur wants to outsource and buy, let me use the same honey production that I used the last time. They want to buy honey from different local farmers. So assuming they have 2 local farmers and then bought the 2 different honeys, but looking at the price, the purchase price of these honeys are actually different. So an invoice is being sent and to list down the prices of these honeys, and then would you accept? Is it the same? Is it the same as accepting or rejecting using this approach?
Okay, you're talking about a company wanting to buy honey, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then he has asked for quotations from 2 or 3 different suppliers.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's a good example. That's a good example. So, but in that case, it's not you, the buyer. You understand? But then it's going to be from the seller's point of view that you will do this analysis, whether to accept or reject an order. Okay, so for example, if let's say you decide after getting these 3 different quotations or whatever, you decide to buy it from, let's say, Gambia Beekeepers Association, the one at the Nyambaya Forest. Okay, if you say you want to decide, you decide to buy from them. Okay, so the Beekeepers Association, if it is, for example, a big order, they say, okay, we've got an order from Coca PLC, okay, from Coca PLC. They want to buy 1,000 liters of, honey from us, okay. Let's say the CEO said that, and okay, went to the accountant and say, okay, you need to help us because we have to do some maths, we have to do some calculation to know whether, in actual sense, this will be acceptable, okay, or this will be profitable, okay. So what the accountant will do is the accountant will look at the relevant cost of order and compare it to the incremental revenue from the order. So the incremental revenue from the order may be, let's say, Coca PLC will say that 1,000 liter, we are going to buy, let's say, $100 per liter. Okay? So that means Gambia Beekeepers Association, that $100 per liter will be their selling price. So they will do their maths and say, okay, now, what will be our relevant cost? So their relevant cost, they have to consider the direct materials, okay? They will have to consider direct labor, and then they'll have to consider any directly attributable fixed costs. So what do you think will be their direct material in terms of, how do you call it, this beekeeping something? I like this example, It's a natural something. I love anything to do with nature. So, Mr. Coker, what do you think will be the direct materials that Gambia Beekeepers Association is going to incur in the order?
Maybe the packaging.
Packaging materials, yes. Packaging materials, yes. What about? Okay, I know what they do is they have boxes. Okay, they have boxes. Those boxes cannot be, you cannot relate that to order because that's like an asset. Okay, you have to take note of that. But then I think they put something in the box. I don't know whether they put any wax there or something. So assuming that they put some wax there, that the bees will have to come and lay their honey on and stuff like that. So those ones will have to be part of the direct materials. Okay, the packaging materials like the bottle, of course, will be a direct material. And what else? Maybe the materials will not be many. Okay, but what about the direct label? The direct label will be those beekeepers, who go to how to call it, tap the honey from the boxes and so on. Their labor cost. You understand? So how to call it? So those are some of the variable costs that the accountant of Gambia Beekeepers Association is going to calculate and compare the revenue that Coca PLC is ready to pay with the cost. Then they can turn around and say, okay, no. At $100 per liter is going to be we're going to make losses. So maybe increase it to 150, like that. So if Coca PLC says, no, we can only pay $100, then you advise management that you can't go for it. Because even considering our direct cost and our direct revenue, considering our contribution, we can't even make anything. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Fofana?
Yes.
Yes, I actually get what you're trying to say. So if you are to relate this to institutions that are actually into projects,
yes,
institutions that receive projects from other funding organizations, right?
Okay.
Is that also going to be used with this approach?
The institutions that receive funding from funding to execute projects, is that what you mean?
Yes. Yes.
No, that one will not come under this purview, because you won't receive project funds and you start calculating whether I should accept it or not. That one is out, Mr. Coca.
Sometimes
this will apply. When it comes to project implementation, those ones are service delivery, and they are not usually into profit maximization, but instead they want to deliver social service and stuff like that. This is applicable in a situation whereby you are providing services for money, or you are providing products for money. Okay, not a situation whereby you have to execute a project. I hope it is clear.
Yeah, sure, it's clear.
Okay, good. So, so that's the meaning of accepting or rejecting orders, and we've tried to apply it in a Gambian situation. Okay, so and another example could be this Gambia, how they call it, Gambia Printers. I don't know how they call it in Carnival. What's the name of the Gambia Printing Corporation? Okay, Gambia Printing Corporation. Okay, so if they receive an order from a customer, to produce, let's say, books for primary school and stuff like that, so this will be a typical example that could be applied. So they need to look at the direct materials, the direct cost. But in looking at them, you don't only look at how much it's going to cost you, but you have to consider what is available. Okay, you have to consider what is available. So that will be the next slide we're going to look at. So first, when you are faced with this situation, you have to look at your direct relevant cost of the order, including any opportunity cost. Okay, and you compare it to the incremental revenue from the order. Okay, and if the incremental revenue exceeds the incremental cost, then you accept the order. If not, you reject the order. Okay, but to calculate the relevant cost, you have to follow this procedure, especially for the two main cost drivers, that's the material and labor. Okay, so, but before we go there, you have to consider other factors. Other factors to consider in accepting or rejecting orders. One, is there an alternative or more profitable way of utilizing spare capacity? Okay, you need to know that. If you reject a particular order because it's not profitable, okay, you have to think about the spare capacity. You have your machine. Let's say you hire your machine. You will pay them whether you take this order or not. You hire your staff, you are paying them on a monthly basis, whether they work on this or not, you still have to pay them. So sometimes because of things like this, you can accept order even though they may not be profitable. Because if you calculate the waste in terms of what you're going to pay on the machine and what you're going to pay on the staff, you compare that to the shortfall, you know, those losses will be higher. So you're better off accepting the order even though it might not be that profitable from the financial sense. Okay, is that clear? So next you look at, will fixed cost be unchanged if the order is accepted? You know, fixed cost, like I said, sometimes can be stepped. You know, it can, you know, kind of vary in some situations. Okay, so the last point, will accepting one order at below normal selling price lead another customers to ask for price cuts? So you have to be careful. So in the first point, we are saying, okay, because you have issue with spare capacity, you may accept, you know, orders at a lower price. But then you have to take note. If I go there and say, okay, I bought my drink from this shop at this price, and I tell my friend, and my friend goes there, and you want to give a higher price, he's not going to accept. So you have to balance the two. Okay? All right. So let's look at the two main cost drivers in order costing. Okay, that's the material and labor. Okay, is that clear, everybody? So we're going to look at the material and the labor. So before you go ahead with your order, you say you have to look at the benefits that you're going to gain from the order and the cost that you're going to incur on the order. So the cost, you have to break it into two main components, the material cost and the labor. Of course, there are other costs, but usually these are the most significant ones. So you look at the material cost, okay? The materials you're going to use on this order, okay? Let's say the honey order also. Okay, so you're going to ask yourself, these materials, and the materials we talk about was what? The packaging materials and maybe wax, if they're going to use wax. So you're going to ask yourself, is this material in stock? Do we have our packaging materials? Do we have our wax in stock? Okay. Before we go ahead with Coca PLC order, do we have them? If those materials are not in stock, in order to execute the order, you have to buy those materials. Okay, and if you buy them, the purchase price will be a relevant cost and it will be counted when it comes to the assessment of the order. Okay, so that's the first question. Is the material in stock? So if it is no, we all agreed that you have to buy it, and whatever amount you bought it for will be a relevant cost because you bought it purposely for this order. Clear? Right. So if the material is in stock, that's if it is a yes. You ask another question. Is the material in constant use? Okay, is this a material that you use all the time? In our honey example, it will definitely be the empty bottles that they use to fill the honey with. Okay, so are they in constant use? You have to ask yourself. If they are not in constant use, okay, the materials are in stock, but they are not in constant use, okay, then that means replacement cost is relevant. That means they are not in constant use, okay? So, but if you use them for this order, you're going to replace them later on, isn't it? So whatever replacement cost you incur will be a relevant cost. So you have to calculate the amount of material you're going to use and then use the price, the market value, and charge this order with it. Okay, is that clear? So is the material in constant use? No. If it is no, it's not in constant use. That means material is in stock, but then it's not something that is a common material. You know, it gathers dust. Okay, so you ask yourself, is the material scarce? Okay, is the material scarce? Even though it's not in constant use, we have it in stock. But is it something that is difficult to get? Scarce? Is it something difficult to get? If it is yes, the opportunity cost is relevant. Okay, the opportunity cost. Oh, where am I going? Sorry. Okay? The opportunity cost is relevant. So if the material is not scarce, okay, that means is in stock, is not in constant use, and is not scarce, so that means it doesn't have, it's not valuable. You could call it, it's not valuable because you have it in abundance, and getting it, like in case you use it, getting it is also not a problem. So use it on the order, but then don't charge it. Don't charge the customer, because if you charge the customer, you are increasing your order unnecessarily. So give it a nil value, and in case you have to dispose some of them as a result of this order, okay, any disposal cost that you incur, you have to charge it on this order. Is this clear? It's a bit complicated, but if you understand this, you can answer any questions relating to accepting or rejecting orders. Is it clear? Is it clear, class, before I move to the label? Yes, Ibrahim Cham, your hand is up. Cham, do you understand this concept? Cham? Or you didn't raise your hand up?
No, Mr. Fowler, I'm on the way walking, so I did not. Maybe my hands touched it.
Oh, okay,
I
fine.
could not. Yeah.
Okay, but do you understand this concept of material flow chart?
Yes, I'm getting it, definitely.
Okay, so any questions, please, before we move? Any questions before we move? Okay, so they say silence means consent. So I'm going to move to the next flow chart, which is the labor cost flow chart. Okay, so like I said, a customer places an order, Coca PLC places an order to buy 1,000 liters of honey from Gambia Beekeepers Association in Brikama Nyambai Forest. Okay, so the accountant at the Beekeepers Association is doing this work. Take note. Okay, so first the accountant has analyzed the material. So next is going to analyze the labor cost. So the labor cost here will be the relevant labor cost, which will be the labor cost that is paid to those workers who goes to extract the honey from the boxes in the forest. Okay, so it's going to ask about this labor. Is this labor in permanent employment? Are these people on our payroll? Do we pay them on monthly basis? Okay, the people who are going to go and extract the honey from the forest, are they on our payroll? Are they on permanent employment? Okay, it's still analyzing Coca's order. Okay, so if they are not in our payroll, what's going to happen? That means we have to, if they are not on our payroll, that means hiring them to do the particular work, we'll have to pay them an hourly rate or a daily rate or whatever we agree with them. So that will be relevant here. So if these people are staff that we are dealing with for a long time, we are paying them on monthly basis, so they are on our payroll, we ask this question: is the labor fully utilized? Labor fully utilization means that those staff that goes to extract honey are they fully occupied with the work? Do each and every one of them have got something to do each time they come to work? Very, very important. But in most businesses in this country, unfortunately, labor is not fully utilized. We have a lot of idle labor in this country. Lots of staff, overstaffing, very, very common in most organizations you go to in this country. That's why employees, instead of working, they only go and waste the employer's resources. Chatting, gossiping, WhatsApping, Facebooking, and name them, without doing any work. Some people will go to work the whole day, they come back, they have not done a single thing that will benefit their employer, being it government, being it other states. Do you know this? And it's affecting us seriously. Do you know this? Let's discuss this. It's very, very, very important. People don't work in this country. You go to the banks, you are on the queue, you see people using their phone. Well, like if it were in the West, they see you using your phone while a customer is on the queue, they will sack you immediately. But it's not happening in this country. You'll go and meet a customer at the customer service point, either at the bank as a cashier or NAWEC as whatever. They won't even look at you. You're supposed to, whoever is the customer service attendant is supposed to greet the customer when the customer comes. But they won't greet you. But if it stops, they are fine. But even if you greet them, they won't answer you because they are busy doing something. This is serious. I think we need to change. Okay? So this is not only about accounting, number crunching, and so on and so forth. All our attitudes boils down to our professional capabilities. Okay? If we don't change our attitudes, we can't be good professionals, including myself. So I think Gambia needs a lot of attitudinal changes. Our customer service in this country is very poor. Well, like if there is a word worse than very poor, I'm going to use that word. Don't you experience this when you go out to meet people? You go there and talk to them. They even think you came there to beg from them. When in fact, they should be begging from you. In fact, it's because of you that they are employed. Do you know that? Come on, let's share experiences. What's your experience?
Yes, it's always happening, Mr. Fomana. It happened to me yesterday at the bank.
Even yesterday, huh? Look at that.
Yesterday, people were just many queuing at the bank, and there were two cashiers sitting down, doing nothing, punching their computers.
Yes.
I'm telling you this yesterday.
Yes. It's true. It's true. You know, I don't know, people, I'm sorry to say, but our attitudes in this country is very bad, like very, very bad. And it's not happening even in our neighboring, Senegal is not happening. Go to the market in Senegal, they will want to eat you up. But here you even go to the market. That's what they say. Me, my luck is not with anybody. What kind of attitude is this? When you go to the offices, you know, people, you know, so what we have in this country, people who look for a job, but after getting a job, they just forget about everything and just behave any way they behave. This needs to be addressed. Yes, Mr. Coco.
I have an experience.
Okay.
Yes. During the New Year, I went with a friend to King Bakeries.
Okay.
King Bakers. I don't know if it's King Bakeries or King Bakers. So we actually requested for some pizza, but they said the orders are finished. They only have snacks available.
Okay.
So we requested for snacks and then some juice. So we went and sat there chatting. So at some point the manager just came and said, gave us the menu that we should order what we want, even though we had the snacks on the table. He saw everything. So he gave us the menu to choose what we want. We actually told him that we asked one of the waitress, and then they said the food is actually finished. It has already been ordered, and then it's not going to be done by now. So we were in a hurry, and we could only buy snacks. So he looked at me and said, okay, but they are done. You guys should make an order because you are seated there. I told him that we already bought these snacks, and then we cannot finish the snacks. How can we be able to buy the food? So he left. He told the waitress that we should not be seated there because we did not buy food. We only bought snacks. If you buy snacks, you cannot sit on the table.
And snacks is not food, eh?
Yes. So we cannot sit on the table. So he told, like, he was pressuring the waitress to actually send us out at some point, but he was indirectly doing it because there were other people who were outside and then they did not have space. So because those people wanted to buy food and we only bought snacks, he wanted us out.
Yeah. So, and what he failed to understand is, even if somebody comes and spend a penny, what is not acceptable is you cannot come if you don't buy anything and you want to use their facility. That one, no business is going to accept that. But the fact that you bought snacks, you have the right to sit and eat and enjoy your snack. You know, what he failed to understand is, look, this has happened in the new year, but you will not forget this. And you have narrated this to us. At least close to 20-something people heard this, and there will be more people who will hear it on the video. You understand? So it has a serious implication on the business. So if you had choice, next time around, if you had choice, will you go to them? Because of that experience, will you go
I would
to them?
not even advise anybody to go there.
No,
There you go.
I myself
There you
will not go there.
There you go. There you go. So this is what they fail to understand. I learned from my customer service training in the UK, because when I went to UK, the first thing I did was customer service. I used to work in a supermarket, and they give you, intensive training on customer service and stuff like that. They were saying that research has shown that if you treat one customer badly, if one customer has got a bad experience in your business, at least that customer is going to turn away 10 people from your business. At least 10. At least 10. And this is the truth. Myself, I'm like that. If I go to, that's why when I came in, I closed my account with a particular bank. I won't mention the name of the bank because that's, I closed when I came in newly from the UK in 2010. This was the only bank I was banking with. Each time I go there, I get frustrated. I'll be in the queue for close to 30 minutes. Somebody will come out of the blues. They'll say, Kaifi, I say, what? I've been on the queue here for 30 minutes. Somebody just came in. Who is that person? Is he more important than me? So sometimes I'll raise my voice and the manager will come from there. So I did that once, twice. I said, look, let me not, make fool of myself. So I just say, I'll just close this account. I closed it and went and opened in another account. And up till now, I wouldn't advise anybody to go to that particular bank. Nobody. So you see, we need to be careful about our customer service in this country. It's very, very, very important. So that's, by the way, because we are talking about labor, it's really, really important that we take note of this. Gambia, we have a problem with attitudinal change. If you talk to anybody now, I'm not a politician and I don't subscribe to any political, whatever, but you talk to anybody, we all blaming government. Government did not do this. Government did not do that. The government is useless. The government is this. The government is that. But what about yourself? What are you doing? The government cannot provide everything for us. There are certain things that you're supposed to do as a citizen. So many obligations. What are you doing for your government? What are you doing for your country? What are you doing to your neighbors? Even this little thing of trying to take care of our environment, as small as it is very, very important. How many people litter plainly on the road when they go out? How many people do that? They just eat something, throw the rubbish on the highway. So you are not doing anything for your government. You are not doing anything for your country, and you expect your country to do something for you. So we need to change as individuals. We need to change. Our attitudes are not all that good, including myself. I'm not blaming anybody, but all of us. We need to change. You know, people don't accept each other. You go to the traffic, people will overspeed, they will try to overtake you, they'll go to your left, they'll go to your right. If you talk to them, they insult you. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? So we need to change. Please, let's talk to each other, advise each other, and change. It's better for us. We are all the same. Gambia is very small. Everybody is related. We don't know any religious difference. We don't know any tribal difference. We are all one. We are so cohesive. But the way we are going, those, features, we're going to lose them quickly. We're going to lose them. People are hating each other like poison. Okay. So that's just by the way. Please, let's take note of it. I'm advising myself, of course, and of course, I'm advising you as my students. And let's spread the word. If you yourself work as a customer service, please, when you are attending to customers, throw your phone away. Throw your phone away. The reason why you are using that phone is because of that customer in front of you. Okay, if you are not getting salaries, you're probably not going to buy that phone. Or even if you buy, you may not be able to maintain it. So respect that guy who is giving you the money to buy that phone. So throw the phone away. And this phone is becoming a problem for us. It's becoming a big problem for us. You use it, you won't get any benefit from it. All these WhatsApp messages you are looking at, all the TikToks and all the TikToks or whatever you call them, they don't benefit you anything. So let's concentrate on our work. If customers come in front of us, let's give them the attention. Greet them. If possible, smile at them. If you're a lady, if you smile at them, it doesn't mean you like the man also. No, it's your duty to smile at them. Even in our religion, I don't know about Christianity, but in Islam, the hadith says even to smile is sadaqah. You meet with somebody, you smile at that person, you get a blessing. It's sadaqah. Okay, much more if you smile to somebody who has come to give you money. Because that's exactly what is happening. No customer, no business, no employment. Let's spread the words. This is very, very, very important for us. Okay? The way we are going is definitely not good. It's definitely not good. That's why I don't like going out for, all this customer thing. I prefer, because each time you go out, you don't get the required service you need. You go to buy cash power, in a network situation, in a network sales point. How many of them give you, the required attention? All of them will be busy with their mobiles. Okay, except in few occasions. Okay. So let's move on, by the way, let's just move on. It's our responsibility to talk to each other as Gambians, as brothers and sisters, okay? So I hope you'll also spread the message. Let's be nice to each other. Gambia is a nice place, that's what we know, as a country. So let's be nice to each other and, treat each other well, okay? Right, so we're going to continue. So we are at the stage whereby we're asking this question: is the labor fully utilized? And we agreed if the labor is not fully utilized, which is bringing all this talk, there is no full utilization of labor in this country. I don't know. Well, all the workplaces I work for, I know at MRC, you work for your last butut. So when I used to work there, they are very, very good at it. They make sure you work. If you have break, you are entitled to your break, but you work. Okay? So I'm not saying there's no idle time there, of course, but then MRC is among the best employers that ensures that they pay their staff adequately, but then you have to work. That one kind, there's no compromise in that. Okay? So is the labor fully utilized? If the labor is not fully utilized, okay, then that means you have
good afternoon, sir.
who will be lying about, who will be idling about.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, can you allow me to finish this? So if the labor is not fully utilized, that means whether they work on this coca order or not, you still pay them salaries. So don't charge the labor cost on this order, because if you do that, you're going to inflate it. Some people don't know how to cost. That's why they lose customers. Whether your staff work on this order or not, you still pay them salary. So don't charge their cost to the order. You'll inflate the order price. You understand? So if the labor is not fully utilized, nil value on the order. Don't charge the cost of the labor to the order. Okay? So if the labor is fully utilized, that means all the workers have got work that they do on a daily basis. Okay? Then you ask yourself, is overtime possible? Because in some organizations, you are not allowed to take any overtime, or even if you take overtime, it's free of charge. So if overtime is possible, then that means you're going to ask your workers to work overtime. And if they work overtime, the rate you are going to pay them will be a relevant cost. Okay? But if the overtime is not possible, okay? If the overtime is not possible, it will be opportunity cost. And how opportunity cost? Because if the overtime is not possible, then that means you have to take it outside for another organization or another company to do it for you. Okay, so the benefit foregone will be a relevant cost. Okay, so let's look at a question on this. Let's look at the question on this, and I'm going to give you the other question as homework. I'm going to give you the other question, which is tricks. Okay, example 12 tricks. You will do tricks as a homework. Okay, so let's look at this question. Shall we go ahead? Any questions, please?
Yes, Mr. Warner, please. I have something that I want you to help me clarify, please.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Saul.
Yeah, you know, like I know not only me, but all those who are not working, perhaps who have never worked, you know, who have never been into any intensive sort of. Perhaps we have this paranoia and also this doubt. Like for example, with the flowcharts that we just looked at is the work of the accountant, right? Like because it has to do with finance. So like for me, like right now, what I'm trying to think of right now in my head, is there any form of like software or like template that the accountant will be looking at to answer some of these questions, or is he the one who is going to like sit and then try to analyze this to attach cost or amount to every single cost?
Yeah, as an accountant, you serve as the financial advisor to the company. Okay, and if you are faced with a situation like this, it is your responsibility, okay? It is your responsibility to advise management as to whether to go ahead with this order or not. And naturally, in order to do that, you have to do some calculations. And this is management accounting. Management accounting, unlike financial accounting, does not have, fixed templates or fixed formats. Financial accounting, you have to prepare your financial statement according to a prescribed format that is acceptable to accounting standards. Okay, but for management accounting, you could do your templates or you could do your reports in any way that is acceptable to your management. Okay, so back to your question. Yes, you as an accountant will have to come up with a formula, okay, to calculate your cost. And this is the best way. You have to analyze your cost so that only costs that are relevant will be charged to the order. The irrelevant costs are not going to be charged to the order. You understand my point? And I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Right. So, any more questions or remarks before we do the question, before we answer the question? Example 11, Pantum. Is it clear? Is it clear, everybody? Madeline, you've been quiet today. Madeline, are you with us? Madeline Java?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Are you following? Yeah, yes, clear. Good. Karamo,
Yes.
Karamo, are you at work or on your way?
I'm at home. I was late to join, unfortunately, but I just right now. I want to make a comment about the labor not fully utilized.
Okay, good.
What I have to say is that sometimes, for example, if you work in those like hotels, you realize that the employer will try to employ people who have skills, but you know, in Gambia, most of the skilled workers, they are not much educated, so they use most of them, their energy and the technology, for example. So you realize that they are trying to take these people with less amount that's what they are doing. Obviously, you can people they will not, they will not be wholly utilized. For example, there's somebody who is expect to be paid, let's say 5,000. You are paying him $2,000. You want him to work for 8 hours continuously. Definitely very difficult. On the other hand, I'm not discouraged. Like what you say, people are not fully utilizing their labor, but this is the case.
Okay. No, that's true. I mean, sometimes, well, I don't know. You know, as Yahya Jammeh used to say, if you think your salary is small, you know, you better quit the job, you know, and stuff like that. So because people are complaining, oh, the salaries are too small, the salaries are too small. Okay, but just by the way, to be honest, our pay, you know, scale in this country is also comparatively low. You know, when you compare us to other countries, that is true. So that may be one reason for, I mean, labor not, you know, fully utilized. That may be, but you know, I think what is important is if you are the employer, you know, like let's face it, if you set up your own business, you know, a typical example is me. I have a poultry farm. Okay, I have how to call it, broilers. I have layers. No, they're not that many. The staff I have were only 2. Okay, there were only 2 up to a month ago. Okay, when I added another staff. Okay, because my feeling is before I fill my poultry farm with lots of stuff and then they end up charting, brewing attire and stuff like that, you know, I better take few, pay them adequately, and they work. You know, so that's my principle. So if every employer is like that, you know, then all this idle labor will be avoided. And I make sure you work. That's why my gardeners, if I take you, on average, I pay them 5,000, 5,500. And you know, some people pay gardeners around 3,000, you know, 3,500, not more than. But I pay my gardeners around 5,500, or in some instances up to even 6,000. And they have a free house. Okay, there is of course solar in the house. The house is in good condition. There is solar in the house. There is borehole in the place. You understand? So if they don't work as expected, I fire you. I don't joke with that. I don't joke with that. I have fired close to 10 gardeners since I've started in around 2012. Close to 10 gardeners. But I make sure I pay you adequately. So this is the attitude we should have. Take people, pay them adequately, make sure they work. If they don't work, fire them. Simple. So you understand my concept, Karan?
Yes, you said, for example, you said you're paying a gardener more than 5,000. As compared
Yes.
to, say, employers like hotels. Hotels are paying $2,200.
I know.
$2,600.
No, I agree with you. I used to have an uncle who works in the hotel industry.
So you
It's
see
true.
them. That's why if you don't, even if you see them, they are not working. You don't want to tell them.
Yeah.